I've always been a creative person, and as a creative person, that makes you very curious. So curiosity has led me to where I am today, I suppose. Um, I, as you said, I am the only brand architect in the Republic of Ireland. I've always been, my training has been as a graphic designer. My training has been, with the College of Marketing and Design in Dublin, and in London as well, has been the more traditional graphic design. So I suppose what I've done is I was always asking questions. I was always kind of trying to get a really good brief before I started anything.
Very good.
And those questions were strategic questions, I suppose. But I just got more and more into the strategy side of it. And when I started Cube Design over 14 years ago now, I read a book called The Brand Gap, which was written by a man called Martin Neumeyer. Martin Neumeyer is the guru of brand design in our world.
Excellent.
And that book changed my life. It really did. And I've told him so. But that book was all about brand strategy, and the psychology of brand and getting into people's heads. So that really got me started. And then Marty set up Level C, which is a community of people where he trains us all. He passes on his expertise to us. We take it, we adopt it to be our own, for our own clients, because his client base is very different to my client base. So I've adopted it for my clients. And then we're also part of the Level C community. And that community, we can interact together, we can support each other, we can bring each other in on projects when we get bigger projects where we need a bit more help on certain areas. We've all got different strengths and we play up to that. We collaborate.
Very good.
So yeah, that's led me to being a brand architect. Marty's Level C program is 5 levels. There's only 3 done so far. So I'm one of the first to have completed the 3rd level. The next 2 haven't been invented yet, but I fully intend to do them because they're brilliant. Yeah, so it's more about the strategy now. It's more about, I still do the design, I still do the visualization, but it's more about the strategy. It's bringing the strategy into it. And what that's doing is giving people the clarity and the focus that they need for their business. So every business decision that they make is based on their brand strategy. So that's why I focus more on brand strategy. It means more, it brings more meaning to the audience. It brings more meaning to the visuals. It's not just a logo, it's a logo based on solid foundations. It's a brand, it's a visualization based on solid foundations. So that's why it's important to me.
Very good. To use the program title, reeling back the years, what did you like as a child in school?
I was probably very quiet. I'm probably still quite introverted, to be honest, but I would have always been, I would always wanted to be an artist. And I was growing up in Ireland in the late 70s, early 80s. And when I mentioned to my parents, who were a secretary and a barman, that I wanted to be an artist, they're looking at me going, "You'll never get a job in that." And they're a bit panicky about it, obviously. Luckily, I had an uncle who had dabbled in this area, who also ran his own business.
Very good.
And I think conversations happened between him and my parents at the time, unknown to me. But fair play to my parents. They did let me go to college. They did let me go to our college, to the College of Marketing and Design in Dublin, which was Parnell Square when I started. So because they let me build my dream, basically. I was able to go from there. I went to London, got experience in London, but I've always been creative. I've always been, I would have, a few really close friends, introverted, I suppose. That's kind of, I would have been very happy drawing and painting, and I'm still very happy drawing and painting.
Yeah, I know what you're saying there. I've been introvert myself, and I do like my own space, to be quite honest. To do my own thinking, do my own thing. So in school, would you be a person who is going to be drawn more towards, say, English, the arts type subjects, as against, say, the more logical type of subject like mathematics, science, physics, chemistry? Or were you one of those people who was good across the board?
No, not not good across the board. I would have been really into English, poetry, art. Obviously, I loved art, absolutely loved art history, all those things, those kind of interesting subjects. Home economics, actually, funnily enough. You know, the things you do when you're a kid, like make your own clothes or whatever. In those days, particularly, that's what you did. So I suppose anything kind of creative, I was more drawn to it.
Oh, very good. I'm happy for you. Barbara, tell the audience, what impact did winning 3 Business All-Star Awards in a row from the All-Ireland Business Foundation have on getting your message out there?
Getting my message. It's actually a really good organization. I really love what they do. Obviously they're tied in with the GAA in some ways. So I'm a big GAA fan. I go to all the Dublin matches. So it's obviously attracted my attention. But from when I joined them, you did go through a fairly rigorous process of, you know, they check out your clients, they talk to them, they talk to your suppliers, they do mystery shopping, they do all those things. And I was absolutely thrilled to get the first All-Star. So I've now got, as you say, 3 in a row. It's an achievement I'm very proud of. And in terms of my messaging, I'm now speaking to all the other All-Stars who are all tribe members. They are the small businesses that I want to speak with. They are the small businesses that are going through the same struggles, you know, that I'm going through, that we're all going through together. So I enjoy that community. I love speaking with that community. We all share similar viewpoints, and it's a really nice place to be.
Very good. Describe for the audience what brand architecture is all about.
Okay, so it's a funny one because a lot of people would lump it in with marketing. They kind of look at brand and say, oh, that's marketing. But actually, it's not marketing at all. It's the step before marketing. So what brand is actually doing is defining who you are and why you're there. Why are you in business beyond making money? If money isn't a part of it, why are you doing what you do? So it's that definition of branding. So what it's doing is it's unifying your team, your business, your team internally. It's building a culture internally, and it's also attracting, you know, trying to attract the right audience and building a culture with that audience. So branding is all about connecting the business to the audience and making sure that your business model, the bit in between, is expressing itself the right way, is giving out the right messages. So it's giving that clarity. And then once you have all of that foundation, you know, where you have your purpose statement, and if you have a really good, clearly defined purpose statement, that will help you to build trust with your audience because they believe you, because you've done the work. It's honest, it's truthful, it's authentic. You've done the work. People will believe you. Obviously, you're telling the truth. And you're not leaving things to chance. And what that does at the end of the day, after we run through all the workshops and everything else, I'll put together a brand manifesto, and that can be handed off to your marketing team. So that it actually makes the job of the marketeers much easier in a way, because they know exactly who this brand is and who they're trying to connect to. So the marketing people then create the experience in between the brand and the audience. So we work together, but we work hand in hand.
I think what you're saying there is that brand is much more than just developing a website and getting a logo. It's also it's all about, you know, in my case as a professional speaker and career coach, I've got to be able to put it out there to people that I've walked the talk. And that I hear and empathize with people who've been made redundant, who want to rebuild their lives, to either start a new business or to get back into full-time employment. Because that's the scenario I was faced with myself, and I was made compulsory redundant from my job. So I've got to put it out there on my website that that's the type of work that I do, and I can empathize with those people So that's all part of your branding exercise. It's much
absolutely,
than a homepage and a brand design.
It's a common misconception, actually. People think it's it's my logo. I have a brand. I've got a logo. It's totally not true. If you think of it as a person, actually, if you think of your brand as a person, the logo is the smile on the face that attracts you. Who are you reaching out to touch? What are you wearing? Who do you attract in? It's one way of looking at it.
True. And I think what you're saying there is that too many people, they think by getting the website and the logo design, and then they straight away, they launch into marketing activities, thinking they've done all their brand work. They're only at the very beginning of the branding exercise.
No, I've seen that happen. I've seen it happen time and time again. People I've spoken to, and they don't really understand brand, and then they go off and they get a logo, and then they come back and they say, hey, we've rebranded, and show this logo that doesn't bear any resemblance to what they're doing, and they're just making the same mistakes over and over again.
Explain for the audience the statement: when a company's culture is misaligned with its purpose, it becomes inauthentic.
So in brand strategy, we would look at the culture of the business. So we build out the brand values. We build out, what do those brand values mean within the company, and how do you behave around those brand values? So if you're saying that you do X, Y, and Z, and your behaviors are saying that you do X, Y, and Z, and then over time, maybe, you hire new staff, you don't onboard them in terms of brand, and then they start to dilute the message, and then that message gets more and more diluted, and then the audience are kind of getting curious and kind of go, what the hell? I don't trust them anymore, and they're gone off. So that kind of misalignment can happen very easily. So you really have to stay on top of it. I'll give you a really good example of a fantastic purpose statement and how the brand reacted. There was a video online of a lady who wanted to buy, I don't know if you're familiar with Sweaty Betty. It's a leisure wear clothing company, and their purpose is to empower women. So this woman, she went online to say that she was having a really bad day. She loved this particular outfit. It didn't work on her, and she just came out crying and said, no, I can't do this. So what they did was they gave her the outfit and said, we want to gift this to you because you're having a bad day and we want to make you feel better. That's exactly what they should have done, because their purpose is to empower women. So that's how branding works. That's how your purpose works. All your behaviors build on your purpose.
Very good. Great answer. Describe for the audience the emotions you experienced when you found out you were going to be the first level C brand architect in Ireland.
It took me a few days to come back to earth. I had to go to London to get it. Well, first of all, we've been working on this for about 6 months, and the guest client in the room was Dr. Oker. So we were working with Dr. Oker to rebrand their frozen pizza division. They loved what we did, and we're still talking to them, which is good. And I went to London for 2 days to kind of finalize the accreditation, to go through the last steps to actually get this accreditation. The client was in the room, and we were told more or less there and then that the client was delighted, and therefore we were all the first brand architects in the world. So there's only about 40 of us so far. There are more to follow. There are more to follow in the States. So I came home from London, and I just had to pinch myself for what I'd just been through. It was just amazing to finally meet the people. I've been working online with them a lot for the last couple of years.
Very good.
To finally meet the people that I've been, becoming friends with online, to finally meet them in person was just amazing. The whole experience was just amazing. So it did take me a good few days to come back to earth, but it was all really good, really fantastic. And then it kind of dawned on me, actually, I am the first in Ireland. Even better. So. As Martin Neumeyer says himself, if you can be the only one or if you can be the first in the box, you're doing well. So yeah, I just realized, hang on a minute, I am the first in the box here. So yeah, it was good.
And what motivated you to become a level C brand architect in the first instance?
As I was saying earlier, I always did a little bit of strategy. And I remember saying to one of my designer friends, I'm only doing the strategy to get a better brief. But actually that thought process evolved over time. And it wasn't just about getting a better brief. It was really, I began to realize how important and how valuable it was to the whole process. And I just got more and more into it. And then, you know, when I read the brand gap, suddenly clicked and I thought, this is it, this is what I want. So of course I've been following Marty for a long time. And then he set up level C. And then when he set up level C, it was perfect timing for me. And I just thought, yeah, this is it, I want to do this. So I did the first level, I loved it, did the second level, loved it even more. And everything was building on top of. And then I've done, as I say, the third level as brand architect. And that third level just made everything click. Everything has just clicked together. Suddenly everything just makes a whole lot more sense. And it's very exciting. Yeah.
Tell the audience why the visual expression of a brand is important.
So there's a lot going on in people's subconscious minds. Your subconscious mind is where your thoughts and your feelings live. It's where your emotions are. So people we're human beings. We act on emotions. If you think about it, the memories that you have, the strongest memories usually have an emotion attached to them. So everything goes on in the subconscious mind. So in order to connect your brand to your audience, you need the visual cues. So those visual cues, the logo makes people think, yeah, that's Nike. I know they're going to do it for me. They're going to empower me to just do it. You know, that's the connection that you're looking to make. Yes. So by keeping those visuals consistent and keeping that messaging consistent, that's the connection between the brand and the audience.
And tell me, Barbara, what does success mean for you in your business?
Success to me, I mean, I obviously love what I do.
Very good.
I'm passionate about it. And to me, success is to help as many small businesses as I can. I particularly like to focus on the small business sector, to help as many as I can to get there in terms of their brand, to get there, to really understand it and really go with it. I would love to see, I love it when my clients take it and run with it and really play it up and, you know, create the whole experience. I love that. That just to me is just brilliant. So yeah, I see myself continuing to do this for quite a while. And I see myself getting more and more into it and more. I'd like to see myself helping more businesses, helping more small businesses. I've got some plans in the pipeline that might enable me to do that more. So yeah.
Well done. So 3 remarkable things I can take away from today's interview are, firstly, be strategic. I think it's very important in business to always look for new developments or new ways of doing business. Be strategic. Don't have your head down and learn to see the wood from the trees. Secondly, pride. Be proud of your achievements in business and don't be afraid to tell people what you've achieved and where your next steps are in terms of goals. And finally, be of service to people. And I think in the case of Barbara today, she's a great example of that. She wants to work with businesses to help them to grow and develop. That's service-oriented business. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the audience before I let you go?
I think what you've summarized there is really good. Thank you for your thoughts there. That's really good. And just one thing that struck me as you were speaking was it's about differentiation. You know, don't be a copycat, because copycats never win. Try and differentiate, and that's also where I help people to try and differentiate and find out what's different about them.
Yeah.
And it's not about it's the growth, but the growth will come naturally once you get this stuff right.
Yeah, I think what you're saying there, Barbara, is that there's any number of career or life coaches out there. How do you differentiate yourself from your competition? That's going to be your unique selling point. So well done on that point. Very well put.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And on that note, I'll bring today's show to an end. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you very much, John. That was very enjoyable. Thank you.
Very welcome.